Today, we're going to talk about how to place a temporary endodontic restoration. This is another one of those requests that you guys have asked for in the comments section. So you asked for it, so here it goes. If you're new to the channel, my name's Siju Jacob. I've been a private practitioner in Dubai and Bangalore for the past 25 years. In addition to private practice, I've also been teaching dentists how to use a surgical microscope in everyday clinical practice for more than a decade. For any clinician who practices endodontics, placing temporary restorations is a very commonly performed procedure in everyday clinical practice. So in this video, I will share with you my own protocol in everyday clinical practice. By the way, if you'd like some free articles that I've written which can help you in your everyday clinical practice, do check out the link in the description below. You can download it for free. Not all endodontic cases are performed in a single visit. Many are performed in multiple visits. And when a clinician performs multiple visit endodontics, they place a temporary restoration. When a clinician places a temporary restoration, the expectation is that the patient is going to come back to the clinic in a few days' time. But it can happen that days can turn into weeks, weeks to months, and sometimes even years. So a patient who is expected to come back in a week's time or a few weeks' time can often land up in the clinic several months or even a year later. And if the temporary restoration is not strong enough, then the temporary restoration can dislodge and the tooth and the canals can get recontaminated, and then it becomes a real challenge to manage these cases endodontically because the bacteria and the debris and all kinds of contaminants go into the canal, and the environment inside the canal becomes so altered that it becomes a big challenge to manage these cases endodontically. Therefore, a good temporary restoration is something that every clinician needs to know how to perform in everyday clinical practice. So let's take a look at what is done commonly. So here's what most clinicians do. They put calcium hydroxide in the canal, then they take a cotton pellet, put the cotton pellet over the calcium hydroxide, covering the orifices and the pulpal floor. And then they take a temporary restoration like Cavit-G and then place it over the cotton pellet. And then the patient is sent off from the clinic until the next appointment. Now, there are two problems with this: leakage and dislodgement. When we place cotton pellet and cover it with a Cavit is not a strong enough material. It is prone to leakage. The minute you send the patient from the chair, it starts leaking within a few minutes. So leakage is a problem. And second is dislodgement. The material is not strong enough, and the more the patient starts using the tooth, Cavit as a material can fracture, and then the underlying cotton pellet gets exposed to the oral cavity. So by the time the patient comes back, there is a very high chance that the temporary restoration is completely dislodged and the canals get recontaminated. So these are the two main disadvantages of using cotton pellet mixed with Cavit. There is another problem with cotton pellets. On the surface, it feels like when you place these cotton pellets, they are covered completely with Cavit, but often it can escape the attention of the clinician that these tiny fibers can extend past the temporary restoration onto the external surface of the tooth. And these tiny fibers can act like capillaries. They can draw moisture and contaminants from the oral cavity into the inner surface of the tooth, thereby promoting reinfection or recontamination. So this is sometimes overlooked because if you don't have high magnification, you can overlook the fact that these cotton fibers are sticking through the restoration and in contact with the oral cavity and acting as capillaries. So those are some of the problems with using cotton pellets. Now, one way to overcome this problem with cotton pellets of the fibers sticking out is by using Teflon, which a lot of practitioners do. So Teflon is probably a better alternative to cotton pellet, but we will show you what we do in everyday clinical practice, which we think is a far better method than using Teflon too. So here's what we do in everyday clinical practice. We put calcium hydroxide in the canal, and then we don't use cotton pellets or Teflon. We directly put Cavit-G on top of the calcium hydroxide. So we take Cavit-G, condense it into the canal, use a moist cotton pellet or moist microbrush to condense the Cavit-G into the canals. And then once that's done, we cover the Cavit and the topmost part of the tooth surface with glass ionomer cement. So there are two different layers. Or at the base, you have a thick layer of Cavit, and on top you have a glass ionomer, a cement which is much more harder than Cavit. So the glass ionomer will resist occlusal forces better than Cavit, and In case there is dislodgement of the glass ionomer, then you have another layer of Cavit underneath that. There is no cotton pellet, so your chances of contamination are far less than what it would be if you used a cotton pellet and covered that with Cavit. So this is what we prefer. Now, one of the questions people ask when we share this technique with them is, doesn't the Cavit go into the canal and block the canals? No, it really doesn't happen, because unless the canal is like really wide, like an open apex or something like that, in 99% cases, what usually happens is the pressure that you exert or the flowability of Cavit is not such that it will go deep into the canal and block the canals. And the second thing is the Cavit in the inner portion, because there isn't much moisture, it doesn't harden. Even if it does harden, it is easily removed with ultrasonics. So here's what we do when we go back into these teeth, when we see these patients for the appointment to complete the process. So when the patient comes back, you can look at the glass ionomer. The glass ionomer is hard, so it doesn't respond to ultrasonics. So we need to use a burr to remove the harder glass ionomer on top. So you can see me using a burr, and we remove the glass ionomer. And once the hard glass ionomer is removed with a burr and we reach the Cavit inside, the Cavit can be easily removed by using ultrasonics. You can even use routine ultrasonics, what you use for scaling. You don't even need a specialized endodontic ultrasonic tip. Here you can see me using the regular ultrasonic tip which we use for scaling. You can use that and it easily removes the Cavit underneath. Yes, if you want to go deeper into the canal, you can use an endodontic ultrasonic tip as well, which removes all the debris or the Cavit which is sticking onto the pulpal floor. You can use an endodontic ultrasonic tip and it easily removes all the Cavit there. And then of course, the calcium hydroxide in the canal coronally is removed a little bit with ultrasonic. The calcium hydroxide in the canal is easily rinsed out with water from an irrigation syringe, and this can be followed up with EDTA and K-files to remove whatever residual calcium hydroxide is there in the canal. So this is what we do in everyday clinical practice, and we find it's very effective. I've been doing the same technique for the last 25 years and it's always worked. I haven't had a single case where the Cavit has gone in and blocked the canals. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments, and I look forward to seeing your response. Like I mentioned earlier, if you'd like me to send you some useful clinical articles and guides which can help you in everyday clinical practice, do check out the link in the description below. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to click on that subscribe button so that you can support our channel and you can get notified every time I upload a new video, which is usually every Saturday. And if you'd like to see more content which I've already uploaded, then do check out some of the videos that are coming up over here. I'll see you next week with another video. Till then, take care. Thanks for watching.